Hey there, I am back with another draw. I mean, it is round 7 and I have done already 7 draws, but it does not show the spirit of my games. I feel like in every game I am trying to something and there is a, you know, difficulties. Sometimes I over push. I think I did at least twice over pushing and almost both of them it back this backfired. So I don't know. I mean, I should also think that whoever I play, they are higher rated than me, and I mean, when I make draw, I gain like 1 point or something, something with these fellas. So maybe I should just keep playing. That's what I'm trying to do. To play as objective as possible. This is my goal for this tournament. Now let's go over my today's game and see what happened. So I was with white. I played e4 against my teammate Nijat Abasov. We have played obviously many games previously, but I think he only once chose e5, and it was his main move was c5 by far. So I was expecting him to play c5, but also I knew that he could play e5. He plays from time to time, and here comes the surprise: bishop to c5. And after bishop c5, I knew that this c3 d4 idea was the main line. However, I was sure that he was going for knight ge7, which is a rare line. I think black should be a little bit worse, but I did not remember anything. And I decided to play castle. So I invite him to develop his knight to f6. But instead he goes knight ge7. But this move allows me to grab e5, which I did after some thoughts. Initially, I was thinking that maybe I can play d3 and slowly develop my pieces. I knew that that position probably will be around equal, so I went for knight d5. Knight d5, d4, b5, bishop b3. So this is forced, and he played d6. D6, and I don't know. I was spending a lot of time trying to understand what's happening after f4 because f4 looked to me like the most principal line. He goes c5. I I honestly I didn't think anything but queen c2, maybe queen. But the angel says that I should have played queen d2, and this position is better for white. Queen d2, c4. I didn't like the c4, but fe, queen b6, king h1, de, and queen g5. Actually, maybe maybe this was the best move. It's kind of unfortunate, but this queen c3 was very tempting. Was very tempting because when he plays knight g6, there is always this queen g7, very dynamic position. So I was considering to take on g7, but I didn't like obviously c4. The weak engine says that just grab this c4 bc and develop the piece, and the game is great. There is enough compensation. I bet there is enough compensation, but I don't know. I thought that why should I give up the piece? First, I wanted to add a4. So he goes bishop b7, the most principal line. I took ab, rook a8, and angel says queen a8 was possible. I was pretty convinced that after queen g7, I'm gonna have a winning attack. So king g7, attacking f7, he has to play c4. I go knight c3, and he has some queen a6 move or queen a7 check. Well, king h1, cb, f5, rook g8, queen f6. This engine evaluation goes up and down. What's happening? Knight b5, queen b6, knight d6, king e2, and apparently black is better. I don't know. Okay, it changed its mind. This crazy position. I was pretty convinced that queen a8 was a mistake. So he takes bishop a8, very logical move, and I spend a lot of time and I come up with a beautiful move, bishop a2. Again, engine says that he has to take bishop e4, but bishop e4 seemed like a very dangerous. Yeah, take g7, he has to play c4, and I was considering quite few options, but queen d4 sounded a very logical one, and the engine says this is better. Bishop e4 also, there was a rook e1 actually. I did not see rook e1, castle, rook e4, queen a8 double attack. Oh, knight makes sense. But also I was thinking that I can take g7, c4 and then play rook e1. What's the problem here? Then it goes rook g8, queen, let's say f6, bishop g2, king g2, knight d5, and this is losing. Oh wow, crazy. So here he plays the move c4, which I was actually expecting him to play, and he gives up this d4 square. I take it over, and in this position actually I was feeling very optimistic about my position. I thought that his knight is misplaced and d6 is weak, but apparently engine disagrees, says that the only black can be better. Yeah, after the game we discussed a lot. So here my time was running out. I played bishop d2 move. He goes knight a6 and I play f5 immediately. Knight d5 and I went for f6. Nijat later said that he should have taken his time. I think he was trying to press me with the time. I was running out of time, and he played knight g4 very fast. He could have played knight c5, but I was pretty convinced that this position is bad for him. It looks like my evaluation, because I was thinking that I'm gonna take g7 and this king is weak. But if he plays b4, I have bishop f4, I was thinking. Knight g4, queen g3, queen b6. Queen g4, I can. Queen g4, he has knight d3. Oh, what? Yeah, actually. Oh. What if I play here queen g3, then he goes g6. Queen g5. Queen g5, he has always this knight d6. Yeah, knight c5 would have given him a chance. So he goes knight g4, mistakes. I play queen g3, knight f6, bishop h6. So here we just repeat. So he couldn't play for a win, because if he takes, then I can take f7, king h8, queen h5. Also, there was one interesting moment that I was thinking that maybe I have queen a7. Like, very interesting idea. I'm attacking a6 and f7. If he goes something knight c5, I thought fg, but my queen is gonna get trapped. So I made the right decision making draw. My evaluation throughout the game was a disaster, seems like. I was considering my position better everywhere, but I did not have anything. I guess I'm glad that I did not. Only in this position, like maybe bishop d2 was bad move. Well, yeah. What can I say? Overall, I don't think that I played badly, but my evaluation throughout the game was incorrect. Luckily, it ended up well for me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will be back with the next recap.